Welcome to AlphaCars Motorcycles. My name is Dimitri. Ina's running the camera today. And here we have a 1990 UAZ 469. And this is a very exciting military variant. We're going to talk about the differences here in this video. But this is very exciting because we imported this vehicle many years ago. It was originally, of course, it served as a light personnel carrier in Soviet Army, and then it was decommissioned with minimal miles. This vehicle has right now it has about 4,000 miles, and I think when we got it originally it was a little over 1,000 miles. It was in unbelievable condition, and then we sold it. There was only one owner in US, and there was one owner in its military life, which was Soviet Army during Soviet Union times. And then when we sold it here, it was a local customer. They enjoyed it. They had it for a few years, and then they had to make a decision. It needed to be serviced, overhauled, cosmetically, mechanically. So they didn't know if they were going to keep it, but they ended up selling it to us. So we went through this vehicle, and we definitely valued its original condition. This vehicle still has all original body panels. It still has all original paint. It never had any rust. There was very minimal surface rust on the underbody, and we actually took care of it. And then Ian did a great video, so it will be referenced here. You can see it, and you can click on it because we did an amazing job of removing the surface rust, treating it chemically, and then we applied a proper military finish, not undercoating, just military finish. And then we applied transparent wax oil undercoating. We can give you, you can have a quick look here. So it all looks black, but it's not black undercoating. What it is, it's refinished in proper flat black paint, and then the wax oil clear coating was applied. It's tacky. It feels like wax. It literally feels like wax. So, and actually, while we're still here, we're gonna just show you the military axles. The beauty of these axles, there are two main reasons you want to have these axles. One, you get a much higher ground clearance, because if you look at the center of the wheel, and that lands to right about here, this is the center of the wheel, and usually the axle will be entering the wheel, the hub area right in the center. But with these axles, there are planetary gears inside, and the entry point of the axle is higher, so you're gaining, it looks like a couple of inches, which is a lot. And the other thing is, because your final gear is essentially set up within each wheel, the differential doesn't have to be as large, so it's a much slimmer differential, also known as pumpkin. You can see normally they would be this big, so there would be another probably an inch, but here it's much more compact, so you get a high ground clearance off the beam, you have a higher ground clearance off the differential. And the other one of the also main reasons is all the torque is usually transferred through the final gear for both wheels inside the differential, and here it is distributed for each wheel, so you can carry a lot more torque. It becomes much more durable, especially if you have to tow something, pull something, go uphill, any type of off-road situation. So definitely check out that video. Ian did a great job of showing the progress of the whole process. And this is something, by the way, we do in our service department for our customers. And this was done on this vehicle. So we're gonna go around the vehicle and show you the condition. It is absolutely amazing. It still has the original military finish. This was not clear coated. This is the finish that the UAZ came with. And there are some brackets here because this vehicle was set up for specific military use. and we have some speculations, but since we're not sure, we are not going to share them. But again, it is, if you look at all the hardware, this is an unrestored vehicle. And there's a big difference between a beautifully restored automobiles or motorcycles or just objects, and then there is something that is valued much higher, is the original condition, where we did some reconditioning work, but it hasn't been restored in the way of paint, in the way of parts. So all the parts are original, and when I say all parts, of course we replaced the tires, we did the brakes, and there's a list of items we show on our website listing that shows the things we've done. So it has 2 gas tanks, so you don't have to worry about which side of the pump you're on, because you know you're going to have to turn around anyway and fill up the other tank. So this is all original. We researched the best tire for you to replace the original tires. When I say the best, this is the tire that gives you a quiet drive, as quiet as you can get in this vehicle, and it still has very good traction for winter or off-road. And this vehicle is good to go because it has the underbody protection we've done. We also did the enclosed area, so this is professionally done, and we have a lot of videos for underbody treatments. Please check out this link we're going to show in the video, because that's going to take you to our playlist for rust-proofing treatments that are available, that we done for many years for a lot of our customers. Yep, here's another gas tank on this side. There it is. And welcome to UAZ 469 from 1990, which is considered an excellent year. I'm going to get on the other side. And so this is definitely as a very simple environment, because it's just you and the mechanical components of this vehicle to an unbelievable degree. You can see your wiring, you can see all the controls. There are no computers on this vehicle. There are some relays, and there are awesome gauges, because you have your voltage, you have the oil pressure, you have the temperature, you have the gas gauge, and with this gas gauge, it works for both tanks. So you flip the switch, and it will display the fuel level in the other tank. And this cute little thing is very important, because that is the military seal, because this wire goes around the cable, speedometer cable, and there's one on this side and one on the transmission side, and what it indicates that the speedometer cable was not tampered with, so it was never removed from either side of the cable, which means every time the vehicle rolls or drives, it counts that. And why it was so important, because again, in Soviet Army, there were incidents where an assigned driver would try to use the vehicle for personal use, so they would disconnect the cable from the speedometer, so in the book, the mileage wouldn't change, and they can go and have fun somewhere outside of the base. And of course, if they get caught, that wouldn't be pretty. But then eventually, these seals were used, and it's not only for these types of incidents, for many others.
And that's 7,000 kilometers.
That's correct.
You mentioned miles, but we already talked about it. It has around 4,000 miles.
Yes, that is an important observation. So this is in kilometers. The speed is in kilometers. So our listing shows that it has 4,000 and change miles, which is the calculation off of this reading. And then, of course, there are some warning lights. This is the windshield wipers. Here is the choke. And this vehicle does not require to have a key, because these were assigned to military bases, and there was an enormous level of trust. So this is the ignition key. So that's the ignition on. We're neutral. So that's the ignition on, and this is the start. And as you can see, it starts right up and runs nicely. Yeah, this is a full turnkey, ready to enjoy vehicle, and you don't have to worry about stuff. While we are still on the gauges, I'm going to mention this valve right here, because that flips. That is a valve that switches from one gas tank to another. So that's fuel will be coming from this tank, and that would be coming from that tank. So that's that. There's a very powerful, very simple heating system. It works great. And the air conditioning, it does not have the typical air conditioning system as we know it, but it is very comfortable in this vehicle, because obviously the top comes off and there's a rollover protection. And then also with the top off, you can actually take this window and flip it down that way, and those are you just loosen that up and it flips down that way. So you have 3 pieces of hardware, 12 millimeter bolt heads, and all you need to do is actually remove this one. You have to remove it, and it goes easy. And then you loosen this up, and you loosen this up, and this whole upper part of the door just slides off. So now you don't have any windows. And you can do it on all 4 doors, and clearly you can do another 12 millimeters on the hinges. You can take the whole door off if you wanted to. So this still has all original seats in great condition. They still have a lot of padding, and you can see they're in great condition. And here Ian is showing us the back seat, also in awesome condition. As you can see, it's set up. It has a lot of handles. It has a lot of things you can grab onto, because you'll need to. This vehicle can go fast off-road. It's not a fast vehicle for highway, but it is an amazing vehicle for off-road. And again, I'm kicking back to originality factor. This has something that no UAZ has on the road today. It still has the original sound deadening and insulation. Look at this. It is all factory in awesome condition. And this is not to mention it's no longer available in the original format, but it doesn't exist anymore because all of them got wet or got ripped out because someone felt they didn't need it, and so forth. So this is all exciting stuff we're sharing with you. If you look at the condition of the unibody, or the body, because it has a frame, and technically this is all one piece unibody, sits on the frame. But you can see sound deadening material is still in great condition, and it's applied throughout. You can see on each side these cute little things right here, and Ian has one on the other side. Those are 12 up, yep, there it is. Top left corner of your screen. Those are 12 volt outlets. It actually has a plug that you can plug in. You can use it for just 12 volt supply. And this vehicle, I said it has no computers, and I was accurate, because it has no computers, but it has one piece of electronics. So it does have an electronic ignition. It's a military grade. It's right there. It's all boxed in. It's a good thing because it makes the vehicle run smoother and more reliable. It has no points. And while we're on topic of electrical, here's another switch we can show you what this is. So this is the power distribution, power distribution or power cut off. So right now there is no power to the vehicle. It's completely dead. And now when we press this button back in, so now everything is live. So the steering wheel is highly functional. There are a couple of switches there, actually just one switch on this side, turn signal switch, and there is a horn. That's all we have for electrical. There is no airbag, Ian, am I correct?
Yeah, and no CarPlay controls.
Okay, so we're gonna skip that in our review then. Okay, as we make our way around the vehicle, of course, it's been converted to US plates. So when you purchase that in US, it comes with US title. It comes with already license plate bracket. You can just have it set up. We're going to show you. The cargo area, and look at the condition of the rims. We did refinish them, and we did a great job. Of course, they were clean, they were primed, they were refinished, and this is the paint we used on the underbody. Of course, this one doesn't have that wax coating, which we have on the underbody, and this one still has the Russian military tire. So this tire, if you don't have air in it, it's not going to go down. This is the tire that's designed to take a bullet and you can still drive on it. It's a Highland comfortable to drive. It's very, very firm because it's just like pieces of wood on the rims.
It's
so
like a run flat.
well, it is essentially the run flat. They were way ahead of retail industry. Okay, so we're going to show you. This is tedious, but it is kind of fun because you have to. We're not going to have to do the whole thing, but we're going to just loosen these, and these are all in great condition, still original, amazing. And then this comes off. So now we can flip this down. Everything is nice and tight, so it doesn't rattle as much. And we're going to bring this down so you can still see it's in great condition. All these things, they usually completely rotted away. They're completely gone. These are some leftover parts. They're not, while they're in this video, they're not provided. This is just something that when we did the service work, we gave our technician a bunch of parts and they used them, but these are just leftover. So here is the jack and some of the other tools that come with it. You can see the spark plug range. So there are a couple of goodies here that come with the vehicle, and there's another little green bag with some goodies there. There are also compartments here on the side, and so you can actually, I think that is for the jack. You can fit it in there, but there are nice compartments, and they are actually lockable. You can put a padlock on them. So
these compartments are rust-free as well.
Yeah, everything is. And of course the back seat, not to mention it could be completely removed, but it could be easily folded down and flipped forward. So that's that. And it also already has the bracketing right there, so you can find the jump seats for the side, and it already has the bracketing for them. Those do not come with this particular vehicle, but they are available. You can find them on eBay. And
there is the hand crank.
Oh, there is a hand crank. So check out this video. We're going to have a little link for you, because these engines, they start right up. We did that on the Volga Gaz 24, so we'll have a link for you. You can check that out. That's a short video. Let's check out the engine bay. And you know what? Look at this. You see this? And you would think this is to open the hood, but it isn't. This is to adjust the, to adjust the radiator louvers. But to open the hood, all I need to do is push one button, two button, and your typical release. We are going to set the hood rod. So here's the VIN, the chassis number, and those are the louvers. So for the extremely cold climates, they could actually be just shut down so that the radiator is getting less airflow, and the engine warms up quicker and stays warm when it's very, very cold. And again, as we're showing you stuff, I'm sure you looking at this and you're like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. And it is absolutely and truly unbelievable. The condition is absolutely amazing. So this vehicle, we're going to get to the engine, but we're going to talk about a really cool part. And that is the auxiliary heater that is used to start the engine in extremely cold condition. I'm talking such cold condition when you pour water and it freezes by the time it lands. That's how cold it could be in certain parts of former Soviet Union, and they needed these military vehicles to start. So what they did, you actually had a set of controls. So for full disclosure, we tested it and it works. But we warn you that you have to have a fire extinguisher right next to it. So maybe it's better not to test this or use it. It's nice to know that you have it. So we actually have a fuel line disconnected. We left it open to show you, but it actually goes right in here. And there's a threaded connection. I'm doing it right now, but we left it open so we can show you. There is a fuel supply that runs, it's very interesting. It runs off of the carburetor, and this little valve would allow flow of fuel through this tube right into that literally burner. So there's a wire that goes to a plug, and that plug is a heating element that just turns red, and the fuel starts dripping and it starts burning. And then there is an exhaust off of burned fuel, and the exhaust is directed right onto the engine oil pan to warm up the oil, because in those extremely cold condition, oil gets so thick that engine would not even turn over. So they need to melt down that oil first. So what that heating system does, auxiliary heating system, it warms up that oil so it gets a little thinner, and then it is also connected to the engine cooling system. So there's a coolant goes in here, and these pipes connect the engine cooling system, and there's an electrical pump that runs the coolant through this burner, and it warms up the coolant, and the coolant in turn warms up the rest of the engine, so it gets warm enough that the electronic ignition system would start the engine. It's pretty amazing, but we do not recommend attempting to use it unless you're ready to use your fire extinguisher. So that is a full disclosure, but we tested it, and these are the control for the system. So there's a flip switch, and what that is, it's the airflow, because this airflow goes in there in order to burn. It's actually like a supercharger, because what it does, it's an electric supercharger. We got it. Yeah. So we can advertise it as supercharged, because the supercharger forces air into the combustion chamber, but not for the engine, for the burner. Isn't that something? Okay, so that's how this system works. I thought this would be a cool segment for this video, and it actually makes these engines start in these amazing, unreal conditions. So, and that's the hose, and of course, during our service, we updated all the hoses, and this is a new hose, new clamps. And look at the condition of everything. It's just absolutely unreal. All original and in excellent working condition. So here's, we have a fuel delivery, fuel distribution system. Obviously, the legendary engine, very, very simple. And here's the fuel supply, fuel pump. Here's an electric pump. So this pump is used to pump the fuel for that auxiliary heater, but it also used in military condition. It's in line with that pump. So if that pump fails, you can actually operate the vehicle on the electric pump. And then there's a filter here, and then there's a fuel supply to the carburetor, and off of the carburetor onto that auxiliary heater. Here's our ignition coil, here's our distributor. And another part to where we have a kick off, it's the electrical system. In fact, the power distribution. Let's check out fuses. How many fuses do you think it has? It has 3 fuses for the entire vehicle, and it's totally manageable. And in fact, you never have to replace them, because the way the fuse looks, it is exactly what you see. there's a wire there, and there is more wire here. So when this blows, you take a loop and you slide it in there, and you have yourself a brand new fuse. In fact, this is a 10 amp fuse. So that's that. Yep, that's in. There's a nice cover that goes over it. Yep. That's that. And as it says in military operation manual, always check oil condition and oil level before you operate the vehicle. The oil is super clean, and it's right there at the top mark. So there it is. We do have a brand new radiator. The original radiator will supply. We were very lucky. We found the original, the original brass radiator. This is all brass. And the original radiator, we also cleaned it, we flushed it. It had a little leak around the seam, which we could have soldered, but since we found a replacement brand new, yeah, you can see a lot of wire shielding on these, because again, that is the military vehicle, and they were trying to shield it for the radio transmissions. And so that's pretty much it. It's an amazing opportunity for a motoring enthusiast of any caliber, whether it's going to be your one and only vehicle, or if you have a collection of vehicles. This will impress anyone. And it's also an enjoyable vehicle to drive. It's a lot of fun. You can use it as a commuter, or you can use it for your off-road adventures. And you can have 5 people, plenty of cargo, and you can still get parts and service for these vehicles. As we know, with a lot of vintage vehicles, just keeping them on the road is becoming much more challenging than it used to be. But these are still, there's still a lot of them on the road, not in this condition, but you can still get parts for them. So again, we hope we transmitted a small portion of excitement that we have for this vehicle, because it's so unbelievable to have it in this condition. And if you like this video, please give us a like, consider sharing and subscribing. And thanks for watching. It was Dimitri and Ian reporting from AlphaCars from our Boxborough location.